Happy Brock Purdy Day.
Indeed. GM, happy Purdy Day.
We've got 11 football games remaining for this season. But with 11 games comes actually a lot of slates because I feel like Draftkings is doing all these. Every day gets its own slate and you have Showdown. Plenty more football left, but, our days are numbered. This 3-gamer coming up might be our last big, main slate, unless they do a 4-gamer for next week.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a fun one. Did you win any money tonight? Do we need to pour one out on stream for Dashi? Sorry, Dashi.
Sorry to the Chargers supporters, of which there are a few. And I guess I was one of them. Yeah, any lineups that I put in that didn't return 0, which was 2 of them, are basically wins. So I got like a minus 0.3. I got back 70% of what I put in. That's all right. Try a solid chance that I also fall asleep during this, but promise the people the impromptu stream after the game. I thought we'd be able to go live at halftime because the Chargers-Jags game was pretty much generationally bad and then generationally good. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow lives up to today. Final score of Seattle, San Fran, I think was not indicative of how interesting that game was, at least in the first half or even through 3 quarters. So
it was a good game. Like if you're watching football, it was a good game. Oh God,
I got a lot of GMs. I just highlighted my own comment. But GM anyway, everyone. So we'll go over the games like sort of on the quick side. There's not like a ton of dedicated content around these niche slates. I'll throw this in the chat. So we'll just go over this and then we'll make a lineup. I don't know if anyone's watching that wasn't a part of our runner-up Mastiff team. Shout out to the Dow. 28 of us somehow disagreed on every single pick. Took Leonard Fournette in the second round and won $15,000 US. Took it from right out of Rugman.
A little over 3x.
Yeah, after everyone wets their beak, not much is left, but we've got enough to punt off. Thanks to Storm. Shout out to Crypto Storm, who might no longer be with us after a huge flight of like random cocktails, and he somehow had like every cuisine yesterday. But shout out to him for sponsoring this. We can, there's 200K up top. Let's get going. Yeah, we did take Fournette in the second round.
You got to play for your contest. Small field. We needed Lenny.
Yeah. So 3K entrance. But anyway, so we'll get going. Miami's at Buffalo for the first game. Middling total 43.5. Obviously, Buffalo's carrying most of that. 2 touchdown favorites. Is there anything like Raheem Mostert is out right now? Isaiah McKenzie is projected to be in. I don't know that I agree with that. Wednesday, it seems like he tweaked his hamstring in practice, so he went limited left practice on Wednesday and then hasn't practiced since. So obviously keep an eye out on that. If McKenzie's out, that opens up potentially Khalil Shakir, Cole Beasley, John Brown. So projections will update with that. And Raheem Mostert is out, so Jeff Wilson and I guess Salvon Ahmed are the running backs. Skylar Thompson is the quarterback, which kind of makes Miami not too interesting, but we also saw plus 2,200 live money line just pay off. So, can Miami win?
Yeah, I guess
it's your job to sell us on who's going to score for Miami.
I think there's 2 big questions in this game. Like the first is so obviously 3-game ownership is like LOL. Like it's really hard, and it's not like there's a lot they can do about it, right? Like it's just a difficult process. But let's just say Isaiah McKenzie's out. Like what ownership for 3K is Khalil Shakir?
Not high. I think it'll be under 10%.
No? Okay.
Because like macro,
McKenzie's only 400 more, and he's under 10%.
Yeah, and macro, like because these guys all exist at 4K.
Yeah.
you don't need to pay down at 2 receiver spots, or if you do, you're probably playing Danny Dimes and like those 2 guys. So
Right.
I don't think Shakir is going to get more than say 10 or maybe even 15%.
And then I guess the second question I have is just like, is there has Skylar showed anything last week?
No,
Has he played what, 2 games?
no, he's shown
Like,
like less than nothing.
yeah,
He like he's in that tier below the tier that's below Jimmy Garoppolo. He's just like, I mean, clip this producer, of which we don't have one.
yeah,
If Skylar Thompson shows anything, but he's like not an NFL quarterback relative to the, playoffs. Like I
right.
think they were like he dumps the ball down like 52% of the time or something, limited sample, but they just don't have he doesn't have the tools, and I don't think they have the confidence in his tools, which actually makes Jeff Wilson interesting. And I think McDaniel is sharp, and he knows like if they're going to compete with Buffalo, they just have to get the ball in Tyreek's hands, probably. So like I
Right.
like Tyreek from that perspective, but it's really tough to see anything besides Tyreek and Jeff
I
Wilson on
will
the end.
say this, just looking at ownership across the slate, like I feel like there is going to be that guy that like plays Tyreek or Waddle, or honestly, after what you just said and watching last week's game, like I wonder if Gesicki is in play too, just because those
Sorry.
other guys are going down the field quite a bit, and he
No.
checks down. And didn't he catch a touchdown in like 5 passes last week?
He did something recently. He's been doing his gritty. No touchdown, but 4 catches on 6 targets is probably like the most that he's done in a very, very long time.
Okay.
Except for the week prior.
Okay.
Really
Well,
shout out
definitely
to
mark me
Danielle
down.
on it.
Mark me down for having no Skylar, but I think I'm going to sprinkle in one of
Yeah.
each of those 3 players that I mentioned, Tyreek, Waddle, and Gesicki.
Yeah.
Probably going to have lineup with one of each of those just in case somebody goes off.
Shout out Rugman. Keep making sure that Underdog pays out the money that is on your platform. Tig, if you're still here in the chat, it's your job to kind of sell us on anything besides Tyreek and Jeff Wilson. Like, I guess Waddle, like in theory, like the price, and I could see him being much lower than like he'll be like 3 or 5% in a small field. Really tough button to click. So then on the Buffalo side, so because Miami is so uninteresting, and I think and I really want to play the Giants and Vikings game, like kind of getting ahead of that. I actually think the Buffalo side of this, like despite the 28 total, is not going to be very owned. Relative, like 28.5 total on a main slate is really good. And now you have it on a 3-game slate, and it's not the chalkiest like team. I think that both the Giants and the Vikings are going to be stacked more than Josh Allen.
Yeah, I was actually, that's why I asked earlier how we felt about ETR's ownership here, because
They
the
did a pretty
Blitz
good job
hasn't been
today for
good
the
as
gamer.
Blitz hasn't been good in its first year of ownership, so I don't really even look at it. But I just kind of feel like Josh Allen is not going to get to that 30%.
Yeah,
Just at 7,900 when you have to play like Justin
it's tough. He's not,
Jefferson and
it's tough. Like Danny Dimes, like relative value score, they're like pretty equal. But when you're actually going in and having to click the buttons, like saving the 2,300
right.
really does a lot for you. Diggs really came on, or he obviously started the season really hot, slowed down a bit. He really had a big week last week, and like he's had some history against Miami. Miami's like defense has been very susceptible, and like they play up tempo. I don't know if that changes obviously with quarterback change, but yeah, I mean, I really like the Buffalo passing game here and the running backs too. So both Singletary and James Cook. So one thing, running backs, like it's only 3 games. Like Saquon and Dalvin, really good. Mixon, like I don't know, you're probably gonna have to talk me into Mixon. But I really like both running, like all 3 running backs in this game. Jeff Wilson, Singletary, and James Cook, I think are all going to be fairly modestly owned, and they're cheap, like compared to Dalvin and Saquon, who I think are going to be much more popular.
I haven't
Braves,
even
Jalen,
looked. I'm
congrats
pulling
on
it up now. No weather in this
Jaguars.
game, right?
No
Temps
weather.
around freezing with calm
No
winds.
weather.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, I was just gonna say the one thing that concerns me about Buffalo side is I could just see where Miami just can't do a whole lot of really anything, and Buffalo is happy to just run those two backs, and I don't know.
Well, that I mean, I think you probably want to play. It's really hard to build a team and completely ignore this game. I think if you're
Yeah,
trying to play DFS well, just because of ownership, because I think like if you're playing like 5, 6 guys in this game and you think like, both of these teams have a lower team total than the Bills. I know it's like really elementary stuff, but I think like Vegas is telling us Buffalo's going to score 3 or 4 touchdowns most of the time, and they're not that expensive. Like Stephon Diggs is cheaper than he is on a normal slate, and he's going to be less owned than Jamar Chase. So I like Diggs, and if Shakir opens up and hopefully like Cole Beasley gets some ownership, so you can play Shakir. I'm much more excited about Shakir than I am old man Cole Beasley. But I also like the running backs, both running backs, whether it's
yeah.
Singletary or Cook. Like I think it's a coin toss. Like James Cook actually has gotten, I think, one more carry the last couple of weeks compared to Singletary. It's very, very much a coin toss there. But I think like I wouldn't say. I think the narrative would be Singletary gets the rushing touchdowns. James Cook is like the pass guy, which I guess is
But I
maybe
do think
true.
there's truth to the fact that, like, if Buffalo gets on a lead, I do think that the play becomes James Cook because he's a young player that's never played in the playoffs, and Singletary's your starter, and I could just clearly see James Cook getting a lot of work if they get up
Yeah, I
by
mean
two
they've gone
touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, they've gone out of their way to increase his role. Like we've been talking about this. Like they drafted him for a reason. They signed JD McKissick and that didn't work out for, random contract stuff. But like they want James Cook to work. So like this will be their chance to like actually see it. But I don't think they would like they've been playing him a lot the past few weeks. I can probably pull up the snap counts,
Yeah,
but is it a
yeah, no,
fish
he
move
definitely has.
to run 4 Bills with no bringbacks? I don't think so. Like the I don't think that teams, especially Buffalo, who's very aggressive and like very forward thinking, sharp, like Mike is it Mike Kafka and I don't know who else runs the offense nowadays, but there's not much incentive to like pump the brakes. I don't think it's the playoffs. You just especially after tonight. I wouldn't say that the Chargers like park the bus, so to speak, but if you're Buffalo and you're off to a 27 nothing lead, let's say, like I think you want to keep scoring, right? Especially after what you saw tonight. So that like I think it's fine. I do like Jeff Wilson. I do like Tyreek, but I wouldn't force to bring back. I think it's fine to play. Just overstack it.
Agreed.
All right. I think that's probably enough on that game for now. Now we'll take it over to Coors Field in Minneapolis. The Giants at the Vikings. This is a rematch of like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where that game was very exciting until the Giants once again conceded a 60-plus yard field goal for what feels like the 15th time in the past couple of years to lose. So 48 total is really good, especially for a 3 gamer. Daniel Jones is going to be very, very owned. Saquon, Richie James, everyone has finally caught on that Richie James is like literally always gets there. It's kind of the running joke here. Justin Jefferson really went off when these two teams played. And TJ Hawkinson did as well. So I think that's where ownership is going to be. Isaiah Hodgins too. Like it's really hard to play, or it's really hard to find someone in this game that's not high owned. Have you found
Yeah,
anyone?
a couple things I would say is like, so Jefferson exploded like 16 targets last time they played, right? And I want to say that's also the last time he
Yeah,
had
he's done nothing
success.
since. Yeah.
Didn't he? Yeah, and if you've watched the games, like Hand in the Dirt, like he's insanely frustrated and pissed off, So like, I feel like this is like if you're coaching in practice this week and you're about to play your first playoff game, like you are drawing up Justin Jefferson in this game. You're reviewing that tape, and I think Justin Jefferson's probably the best play of the slate. One
Yeah.
thing that I do wonder is just the value of Daniel Jones and the name value of Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. Like, is Kirk Cousins going to go under the radar here? Like, go under owned? And,
Somewhat.
you know,
Relatively,
I,
yeah.
I'm definitely in the camp of Giants win this game, and I prefer the Giants to win this game. But I feel like the Giants'
They
path to
are going to win
victory
this.
is like to not have Daniel Jones go crazy and have Saquon do the work, and I could see Kirk Cousins being a little bit sneaky.
Yeah, if I like had to say, I mean, this you're not going to sneak anyone. Like Kirk might be like
I'm
15% or something.
right relevant
I
to
can
three
I can
games.
see, and like we have to play Daniel Jones on this specific roster because Storm said so, and because I would actually also say
Oh, I
so.
get that. Yeah,
But in this contest, I can see Daniel Jones being 30 or 35% and Kirk Cousins being 15 to 20. Where at that point, like the game theory, I mean, they're projected for literally the exact same and 300. So it's just like play who you want. Um, I think matchup wise, like the Vikings secondary has been attackable all
mm-hmm.
year. Giants have like not been healthier. One thing to note, Janoris Jenkins has been out since I think week 11. I think he's expected to come back. So that might be a thing that like if you want to tell yourself a story on like why you should fade Justin Jefferson, that could be it. So that's an angle. I think it's like Richie James, Isaiah Hodgins, Slayton, like the Giants play those three guys on like 80-90% of their snaps. Daniel Bellinger's out there a lot too. I don't want to play chalk Bellinger, so that's one I would cross off. And I like Slayton because like Slayton plays just as much as Hodgins. I like Hodgins like fun because he's cut from the Bills, practice squad guy. Like he came in when the Giants were like really down and had a couple of like games at 3K or whatever. But like Darius Slayton is probably a better NFL wide receiver than Isaiah Hodgins is. He just hasn't really like splashed as much lately. So I can see Slayton being less owned than this, and Hodgins being 40%. And if he gets Slayton at 20, I kind of like that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I don't know that I'm ready to say like Slayton's a better like Hodgins has been like hashtag good. Like he runs good routes and he has size and like he catches everything near him and
Slayton's very fast.
Slayton's just different, I think, right? Like he can
Yeah,
get behind people and
yeah,
he's a little bit more upside maybe, but I like
yeah,
that Hodgins guy.
yeah. And we didn't talk about Dalvin Cook. The Giants have run defense have been like somewhat attackable, and if you think the Vikings win, or even like if the Vikings score, like Dalvin actually correlates strangely well with Justin Jefferson. This is something JM talks about, like in his like I don't know his like player blocks, and he's like the Vikings, like you can lock up all the scoring if you play Dalvin and Justin Jefferson, and in like all of Dalvin's big games, Justin Jefferson is also having a good game. And that's just because, like, I don't know if you want to say the Vikings offense is kind of hit or miss, but if you're just saying, like, said another way that I think Dalvin and Justin Jefferson together are not negatively correlated, and the field is probably not going to play that combo as much as like Saquon and Justin Jefferson. So that's like one angle that I like. And then also, KJ Osborne has been getting schemed touches for what feels like the last 2 months. And he's had flash big games on island games recently. I don't know, like him versus Thielen at basically the same price. Like it's sexier to pick Osborne. Do you want to sell the world on Adam Thielen over KJ Osborne?
No, I don't know. I mean, KJ Osborne has come on recently, and I think like he's kind of earning more targets, right? And I don't know. I can't stand Thielen. I feel like
Yeah,
I
he's
not for my money.
yeah. Thielen is like the definition of a guy that only gets there when he scores, and even
Right.
in the game, like he scored. I mean, this is comical. Like he scored last week in 9 points, but whatever, throw it out because it was week 18. But like even in the games where he scores like 21, yeah, I'd probably take 21, but like 19 and a half, 13.1, like he's scoring. Like there's nothing here. Like Thielen is drawing pretty much dead to have 100 yards. He's not had, anywhere near that all year. I don't think tomorrow is going to be that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Osborne has the yardage in
I just feel like with
touchdowns, but
I just feel like with both of them, in terms of that mid 4K receiver, like I just can think of like I just want to spend my money on any other 4K mid, like the Giants mid 4K
Oh
guys.
yeah, yeah,
Like they're just not if I'm playing Vikings, like I really want to have Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, one or the
yeah,
other. And if I'm gonna get really cute, maybe I'm gonna play Hawkinson, the 39%. That
yeah.
doesn't seem like
It's
good news. And if I was
kind of
forced, I
high.
would play Osborne, but I really want to just stick with Cook and Jefferson. And I actually just plugged that in. Like, if you game stack this 5 people, it's shocking how much money you have left. I'm shocked.
Shout out to TD here. This is Justin Jefferson's correlations, obviously the highest with Kirk, but so funny enough, like he's very positively correlated both with Hawkinson and with Dalvin. And I think that's just a product of like when the Vikings are in good game environments and like he's scoring. Justin Jefferson is more hit or miss than you would imagine for a guy who's coming off a year with I don't know how many yards. He had 1,800 yards or whatever he did. He was very, very live to break the yards record, like with 2 games left. And then I don't know, he probably had like 50 yards combined those last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So he's a little more hit or miss than people would imagine. I don't know. If you want to play that angle and fade him, if he's probably going to be 50+% depending on your contest, I get that. Like the Jefferson versus Chase conversation is going to be one, and then I think you get Diggs and Tyreek at a big ownership discount. So we'll probably come back to that game as we make that lineup. So final game, Sunday Night Football. Man, I don't know why they made this the Sunday night game. Like I don't know. It's just like AFC North boner. Like everyone, like
I think they
NBC
prayed
really
Lamar
wants,
was back. They
yeah, that
prayed
could be it.
Lamar was back.
Like nothing NBC loves more than to talk about like the third game inside the AFC North and like how there's no love lost between the Ravens and whoever else. So Ravens Ravens Steelers, Ravens Bengals, 40 and a
Same
half
thing.
total. I think is the lowest of the weekend. Definitely the lowest of the 3-gamer, but Bengals, 25 very, very healthy. Ravens like pass defense has been susceptible. Run has been like fairly short up with, since Roquan came in and got Lamar's money. Um, so I think people will play some Bengals. Are you going to have any Ravens sprinkled in on your teams?
I don't think that I'm going to play a single Raven. If I was going to play a Raven, maybe I'm going to play Demarcus Robinson, but I don't know. I just don't know if it's necessary. You probably just don't need the money, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I don't like this game. I do think that it is possible that Cincinnati did a little bit of like last week, like just do enough to get by, and now this week is where they unlock the true
Mm-hmm.
socialist king, Joey Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Ravens are pretty soft in their pass defense. I mean, it is true that like Roquan showing up has helped a lot in both the pass and the run defense. Like he's quite a good pass defender as well.
Sure. Sure.
But I still think they're pretty their secondary is still pretty bad, and
Yeah.
Cincinnati brings the most talent at wide receiver maybe in the league, right?
Oh yeah.
So
And
I
I
do
mean,
think there's a chance that this game script looks a lot different than last week, and Joey Burrow is unlocked.
like last week, maybe the box score doesn't show up, but 42 pass attempts last week. I don't know if it's big enough. 42 pass attempts, 52, 39, couple of, in the 30s. But like coming into the playoffs, and they were setting up for a lot of pass attempts in that Bills game too. So like coming into the playoffs, he's thrown 42, 52, 39 attempts. Like very clearly they want to be passing the ball when they have to win to get in. So in this matchup definitely dictates that. So I like Burrow for sure. If he's
Respect if you want to.
15%,
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I think that's way off here. Is
everyone's building. I think it might because this game is like the primary build, and then Josh Allen. So like this might get forgotten about, and like how it's hard for people to wait until 8 o'clock to get their fantasy points, right?
See, I think they have Burrow and Cousins swapped just because.
Could
I
be,
mean, I don't
could
know
be.
if there's any truth to this, but like Burrow is one of those sexy names with all the playoff best ball and all the hype and all the like. People want to click Joe Burrow's name,
Sure,
and I think the
sure.
ownership is more reflecting that it's a division game and they'll probably play him tough and maybe but I don't know if that's actually going to be a reality when people are selecting their lineups. Like I think Joe Burrow is the second highest owned quarterback on the slate.
Yeah. No, I don't think he'll be higher than third. Like he's going to be behind Dimes and
I,
Allen.
for- I forgot
Yeah.
about Dimes. Yeah, you're right. Third.
Yeah.
Johnny, I respect you if you want to play Mandrews, but I can't do it.
Oh,
Snoop
you
is
got to play
so
Mandrews.
fucking bad. Snoop is so fucking bad. I
Well,
can't.
what if I told you the last time that we saw Mark Andrews on a football
I
field,
know.
he got 9 targets, he caught all 9 and got 100 yards. Just perfect for DraftKings.com. He didn't get 99, he got 100.
Johnny's trying to advertise for us and
Yeah.
got told to
But I
stop.
like so Mark Andrews is an interesting one in that he's 5,200 and Hawkinson's 5,100. So I think if you get an ownership discount, Mark Andrews makes sense. Jamar Chase is going to be. I think I've seen a lot of Jamar Chase chatter. I could see Jamar Chase being higher than this. To your point about like playoff best ball and stuff, like Burrow and Chase are in that like 1-2 corner there. So people are very excited about them going deep into the playoffs and like why not play them? And like the people I think are aware of this Ravens like secondary thing. So I like of course Chase is a good play, but I think you might get T Higgins like at 6,200 and an ownership discount. I really like T Higgins.
Oh yeah.
Tyler Boyd at 4K as a pivot off of the Giants guys, and Hayden Hurst is too cheap. Like he's been actually getting really good usage. It looked like he was in line for a good game that Buffalo week as well.
Yeah, and then even last week, didn't he? A
Probably.
lot of work. Yeah.
Probably not actually.
Oh.
We can imagine it would be like, but yeah, he's been coming back from an injury. But the snaps in those, the game and a quarter have been pretty good. So that's pretty much the slate. Do you want to give out your fuck around and find out top play of the slate, ownership considered, pricing considered, everything? If there's one button you can click.
Ownership and price considered. Yeah, we don't like to do chalk when we do these, but like
It's hard not to. It's 3 games.
Everybody's gonna be on.
I'll veto if it's too chalky.
Nah, fuck it. I've built my brand, and
Trent Sherfield.
I'm gonna give you a mini stack.
Of course.
No, not Trent Sherfield. If we had Tua, he'd be on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a mini stack. Give me James Cook.
Okay.
Can't keep a straight face. Across from Mike Gesicki for your low-owned fuck around and find out play of the week.
Jesus Christ,
Let's go.
dude.
Let's go. You want to have some no ownership?
I apologize to the dozens and dozens of people that have to, like don't listen to this man. I like James Cook. I would have considered him. I'm probably clicking Richie James on every lineup, but he's 40%. He's probably going to be 50% in this contest. So I actually really like Darius Slayton. He's going to be out there for pretty much every snap. He's a burner. If you can give me, I think you get him closer to 20%. Isaiah Hodgins at 40%. I think that makes a lot of sense in this game environment. And when Darius Slayton goes off, he like really gets there because he's more of the yards guy. So like I think he fits DraftKings better. Isaiah Hodgins gonna I think have a hard time getting there without scoring. So I think Slayton, and I also like, and I'll throw in the Dalvin Justin Jefferson combo.
All right, I love it.
The Cook gift, the Cook.
I think we're gonna do that. Easy, pick your 2 Giants targets for our lineup.
Well, no, we gotta. I gotta throw it to the. I gotta throw it to the chat. I don't want to.
Oh shit! Chat.
It's time for us to make Storm's lineup. Storm, Sponsored our Wildcat entry. He paid it forward. Shout out Storm. So we're playing Daniel Jones. Is anyone in the chat awake besides Tig? Because I don't want to play Dolphins in this lineup, but if no one else answers, vote for Hodgins. Going once. Any dissenters on Hodgins?
Oh boy, they're not listening to your Slayton talk, dude. Well, we need to double stack Dimes though. At Dimes price, you gotta double stack him. Give us 2 Giants receivers, chat. Which 2 Giants receivers
or Saquon
are we? Yeah, or Saquon.
So are we going? So I guess the thesis behind the Hodgins play is he probably is the Giant with the highest touchdown expectation, just from like an archetype perspective. Like he's the biggest bodied one. And then he'll be. I think in this contest, I could see Richie James being 50%, Hodgins 35 to 40, and Slayton 15 to 20 is what I expect for this contest. So we got 3 Hodgins, we've got a Slayton, Richie James. Tig knows that Richie James gets there. Alex with Saquon. How do we narrow down to 2? I mean, Hodgins was the first votes, and Warsh is probably the best at this. So who am I to go against the most amount of votes?
Click Hodgins. And then now chat decide between Rick James, Slayton, and Saquon.
I mean, we could. I mean, there's nothing saying that we can't play Saquon. So we could play Saquon with Richie James with Hodgins too. But
hold on, chat. Just keep in mind that if we were going to play the Cook brothers,
oh yeah, Saquon, if you guys want to play, if you want to play Cook and
wouldn't fit in that.
Yeah, or we can come back to it, right? If we want to play, like, we're not going to play this without Vikings. Like, chat, type yes or no to like, do you want Justin Jefferson in this lineup? Yes or no for Justin Jefferson.
They're trying to spam the GIF.
We got the Cook votes for.
I'm pretty sure we need to decide for them that you just put Dalvin and James in this lineup. Like,
all right, we have one Justin Jefferson vote. Slayton from Hugo. So now Slayton, I think, might have caught up to Richie James. There's probably better, more entertaining ways to host a stream on how to pick teams, but I appreciate anyone who's suffering through this with us. But
should we have Lou fire up the marbles with our player team names on?
Yeah, I should do like Feed the Ducks or something. But JJ over Dalvin easily. Frankie, what if I told you that you're allowed to play Dalvin and Justin Jefferson together?
Warsh coming in with the Slayton
over Richie. Yeah, I mean, Slayton is going to be 20% to Richie James's 50 in this contest, I think. All right, so Justin Jefferson is locked in. Do we want to? All right, so now, do we want to double stack? I'm guessing the answer is going to be yes. Like, say no if you don't want to at least double stack Daniel Jones.
See 3 yeses. Alex is on the Cook brothers.
Yeah. Also, just so we know, while we wait for any dissenters around double stacking, defense takes, like, Cincinnati and Buffalo are big favorites, and like they're the most expensive. I think, good scoring expectations for both. I'm less into the Bengals because I don't know how much dropbacks Ravens are going to have. In theory, like, I actually kind of like the Dolphins defense against Josh Allen, because we've seen Josh Allen take sacks and throw interceptions, and like they might score, but like maybe Dolphins at maybe the 2,300 you really need. Ravens are probably my favorite actually of the slate, because Burrow, if he's dropping back 40 plus times, and his offensive line is kind of banged up, and he's shown, like, he was like for a long time one of the more sack quarterbacks in the league. TD, defense wins championships, and we're trying to win. And we're trying to win a championship. So yeah, we're gonna double. So I'm gonna plug in the Ravens defense there for now. We can pay up if we end up having salary later, but that's my favorite defense. We're playing the Cook brothers. Looks like we're playing the Cook brothers. I would have really liked Jeff Wilson here, but
Did you really just type in Dalvin instead of Cook?
I don't know, man. I feel like we had Slayton over James. Like, can we get a Slayton versus James vote in the chat? Slayton versus James. I could probably use like some tools here. Let me see.
I vote for Slayton.
You vote Slayton. Running wins championships. So it's a good thing that we have Daniel Jones, Daniel Dimes, Vanilla Vic. 1 vote for Slayton. All right, I'm gonna put Slayton in here for now. Tight end. So we actually have a bunch of salary left. If I wanted to, we could. If we wanted Chase, we can't afford Hawkinson or Andrews. But if we play,
we're not playing Hawk in this lineup. Not with Dalvin and Jefferson.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, if it were me finishing this lineup, and I don't want to lead the witness, Andrews and Saquon or Andrews and Diggs, or even, Tyreek. But I think Slayton fading Richie James in a Giants double stack is going to be somewhat unique play. Yeah, Slayton is the EV play we will never realize in our lifetimes. It's not that thin. I don't think it's that thin. But yeah, it's one that, if you play this slate out 5 times, I think it'll get there, but we're only going to play it out once.
What is the
Diggs? And Diggs works here too. Like not eating up too much, and then we're just kind of fading the last game. We could also go Dolphins and Chase as an option. Mandrews and Diggs, and
let's.
All right, so let's say
type in your favorite tight end. What tight end are we playing?
I think
see a couple of Andrews. Is that for sure we're playing?
I think it has to be Andrews because we can't do Hawk if we're playing Dalvin and Jefferson, and then we just have too much salary left to play anyone else. It doesn't make sense to go down. I'll move Diggs up if this is what we end up with. No Jeff Wilson. I like Jeff Wilson if we're playing, but we're not going to. He's 5,400, so if we want to come off of James Cook to get onto Jeff Wilson, we can. Yeah. If we wanted to play Dawson Knox, we could pay up at defense for Sincere Buffalo.
Well, what does Knox like Tyreek look like? And is that too cute?
I think now that's a little cute. I think it's a little cute. Yeah. For 3,000.
Yeah, that's just 8,000. Yeah, there's just Tyreek can have a nice game. There's no way that he can have a ceiling game. It's just not possible.
Yeah, I'd rather play that if we're playing the Josh team.
Yeah, good point. I kind of hate the Bengals defense though.
Yeah, no, I do too. Saquon or Diggs here. So can we do Jones, Saquon, Hodgins, Slayton? Or is Diggs a better bet if we're because Jones, if Jones gets there, we're saying he's going to feed these 2 receivers. It doesn't take much to pay off the 4,000, but he also has some rushing upside. So is Saquon ceiling less than Diggs' ceiling, given we're playing Daniel Jones passing and rushing equity?
Does Chase fit here?
Chase doesn't fit here unless we play the Dolphins defense, which I think is fine too.
This is tough.
Yeah. Chase, Dolphins.
I mean, if we truly were ignoring defense like they say you're supposed to do, I think that Andrews Chase is the best 2 players. I don't know. What do we think?
Diggs is projected for 20.1, Chase for 20.3. Defense projections you're going to tell me are bad, and whatever. 5-7 versus 4-3. Ownership Ravens 17%, Dolphins 9%. All right.
Warsh loves Diggs. Alex loves Mandrews Diggs.
Yeah.
TD's saying weird stuff again.
Saquon and Dimes. I think Saquon and Dimes are negatively correlated, like in general, but with 3 games,
in 3 games, you're getting negative correlation, just period.
Like Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne are negatively correlated too. It's a fair point, which is probably why I do lean Diggs here, and that'll give us something to root for in the early game, and then yeah, and then as far as like late swaps, we're not really gonna have anything like we'll have like the 4 o'clock, but then for the night game we only have Hayden Hurst against Andrews and then Bengals defense, but
yeah, I
we're
see
pretty
3
locked in.
Diggs votes. I feel like we're good.
Yeah, I feel like we're pretty good here. So for the audio listeners, of which there are none, because I don't know how to publish this, nor would anyone listen, but we'll run through it. Daniel Jones, of course. We got the Cook brothers, Dalvin and James Cook. Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, the double stack, not playing Richie James. I'll probably play him in every other lineup that I submit on DraftKings.com this weekend. Mark Andrews with a little leverage up of
easy. How often does Dick James get there?
Always, literally always. Mark Andrews, Justin Jefferson, and the Ravens defense. Cool.
I'm glad to get my Mark Andrews exposure here because I will have 0.
TD wants to draft a gauntlet thing. I don't know if like.
I mean, it's your dime here.
I crank the tunes.
I now have your Venmo if you need $12.50. Though I don't want any of this action.
No, if you don't want.
I already have the winner.
No, we're doing the. Hold on. So let me. So I don't know. I'll throw this in. So for the loyal people of the chat, I've been working on this spreadsheet that's kind of multi-purpose that I use for like FFPC stuff. I've been using it for gauntlets, and it's like actually relatively easy to update for this gauntlet rerun if you trust my math. Basically, I just wiped out round 1. So now I actually am going to just change now that we know who won those first 2 games. So the 49ers are now 100% in. The Jaguars are 0% in. Or sorry, Chargers 0% in. Jaguars are 100% in. The Jaguars will just absorb all the Chargers stuff here pretty much.
Why do we have more? Why do we have more people watching right now than we do any Sunday morning?
It's night crew hours. I don't know.
Night crew represent.
Night crew's back. So the 49ers won there. Their odds of making. Oh yeah, so they just inherit Seattle's here, so they go up to 69. Very nice. And 32. It's directionally correct. Everything foots out. Yeah, so now the 49ers have the most expected games. That already includes the 1, so ignore that. But this math here, what is this symbol? These are my rankings. I'll throw this in the chat if anyone cares to use this. Feel free. This is what I'm going to be using to draft the gauntlet reruns, where I basically have the expected games. This is now adjusted for round 1 no longer being a thing. So you have rounds 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 points per game, expected points, and it's sort of formula error. All right. Expected points, and then it's back weighted because the contests are very much back weighted. So of course you want to get out of each round, and I think 1 out of 6 get through. So anyway, let me see if I can do that. All right, underdog.com. The gauntlet returns. Before you guys draft, post it in Badge Bros. Oh man, we're waiting for 5 people. Drafting.
It's got to fill really quick, doesn't it?
Well, we got two. I don't know if I should tell the bad bros. All right, it's filling up. I guess everyone has my rankings. If you're going to be sniping, so shout out to whoever is filling up this room. We've got 4 spots.
Easy.
Yes.
Can we play Isaiah Likely tomorrow?
Oh, I mean,
13 targets last week.
I mean,
was
yeah,
that Tony Brown or was it Snoop?
Yeah, it was Tony Brown. All right. If you really want to get off the board, why isn't Isaiah Likely? Oh, he's 3,300. It's too much. 3,300. I actually like if you wanted to go really off the wall to go Irv Smith at 2,500. He actually played a pretty decent amount of snaps in his return to the field. I don't remember if it was last week or the week prior, but he recently came back and
it's all
had
filled.
a decent role. All right, this is huge. So, like one thing that I'll note is like draft slot really matters here, and like of course I've always liked Brock Purdy. I always loved Brock Purdy. I had him ranked really high before they won, and now that they won, and like you're knocking off all these quarterbacks, like Justin Herbert is no longer draftable. Not that he was like super good, but like you take him out. Brock Purdy's a guaranteed game. So anyway, the reason like the rankings change here, obviously Hurts and Mahomes are guaranteed a game. Josh Allen is like almost guaranteed a game, but you never know. But Purdy, I think, is ahead of Burrow because like, yeah, the Bengals probably win, but yeah. Warsh is about to clean up.
Yeah, I know exactly who Warsh is drafting. God damn it.
They're picking 6th.
You
never know. So anyway, Hurts versus Mahomes. Hopefully the guy ahead of us chooses so that I don't have to. But all right, to me, it's clear Mahomes over Josh Allen just because, Hurts over Josh Allen just because the path is easier in the NFC. And anyway,
I would have picked a Super Bowl quarterback. Oh, Warsh, I know you're going Debo Brock. 100%.
This is when you go into a lobby where you're the only badge, bro. It's actually like the inverse of that. I don't know how to do that, but I'll go and do that. Here's a fun prop for you. Do you think because we were the first people in this room, like, do you think anyone, TD is in here too. Do you think anyone here is going to draft a player that lost today?
Well, we represent half of the room. So I'm going to say, and then we have one badge bro besides us, so that's 4.
You could get Chase Burrow. Oh man, what a mistake. Oh, I mean, how do you see when the Ravens win tomorrow? The Warsh just gave Rugman $25.
You're talking about the next games. Got it.
Yeah. So this contest doesn't start until next week.
Right.
So you can draft this on Tuesday if you're a normal person, but if you're an adrenaline junkie who has money left over on their underdog balance, then you're free to use it today and then draft a team of 10 that becomes a team of 6 after tomorrow. Because like games like Dallas and Tampa, which is basically a coin flip, and Vikings Giants is like super interesting for this. So we have Jalen Hurts. Man, Kittle is a really good value here, but I think we probably got to go Devontae Smith or someone from the AFC. See, like Eckler is gone. So T. Higgins is possibly interesting, just like an AFC guy. But I think I have to take
Devontae. I think you have to take Devontae. Someone took AJ Brown, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, he goes much earlier in this.
Okay.
Like this Kelsey AJ Brown, it's normally dead, but now this is like if this guy lets Purdy go by, please don't, because we can't let this guy get away with it. Justin Jefferson and McKinnon. So we can go Miles Sanders, who I'm not really super high on, but like this tells me that I should be because it's, it's a play. or
Would you
AFC.
ever click Mixon? No.
I would go T Higgins over Mixon because I'd
Oh,
rather
I
get
didn't even.
later.
It's so small. I didn't even see.
That's what she said. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go T here.
Yeah,
I've got Eagles options later, and I think T Higgins has like some pretty good raw upside, and also comes with the side benefit of cucking Morsh.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Brock Purdy there. So now, so the interesting thing here, so there's like 5 clear like Super Bowl live quarterbacks left.
Yeah.
Like Trevor Lawrence is like the 6th. So like that's an interesting thing here. Which I guess was always the case, but now it's like even more apparent. Once you start to knock off, Justin Herbert and like guys like that. It's like this guy now he can just wait and take like the last quarterback because like there's no reason for anyone else to take another quarterback. But it's gonna be hard for him to get Super Bowl points.
This is interesting. If I was rich, I would learn more about this. What is it?
We got the mitten, $5.
What's doing? Oh, he got his Mixon.
Well, he's got Mixon, and now he's going CeeDee Lamb in the NFC. So CeeDee Lamb, is an interesting one where. So I have him way low, down at 34, but that's because half the time he's gone. But if you advance him, then he shoots all the way up. An example of this is like, let me think of an example. So like that, like, I don't know. Like Pacheco, I had ranked 40th, but now because you lose the bye and now he's instantly playing week 1. I was scared to say Dallas Goedert because this is who I want to take now. Just gonna go down the board, make sure I get Dallas Goedert. Like those guys, like Dallas Goedert is ranked like 30th, but because he's instantly playing, it goes way up. So like, I think Dalvin is like a pretty not ideal pick there. So I can keep building Cincinnati or Buffalo for my AFC. Singletary and James Cook both are interesting to me here. Singletary or Cook. Probably Singletary is the lame answer, but
yeah, I'm glad I don't play these contests.
And I know I went T Higgins earlier, but I think I'm playing 3 Eagles. Maybe I'll get a 4th later, and then I'm going to try and give myself some outs on the AFC side.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the Super Bowl, you don't have to have both sides of it, right? That's
well, I mean, if the board breaks perfectly and you're in a room full of people that don't understand that Austin Eckler lost today, it's like Travis Etienne actually went super early because he won. Like earlier during the Chargers game or before during the Seattle game, like someone drafted DK Metcalf because I don't know, maybe they thought that you were going to get his 30 points or something, and then they lost, and now you get 0 points for DK Metcalf for the entire tournament. And same thing with Purdy. Purdy's 30 points, 35 points, whatever he got, don't count for you but he advances. So it's like, so there's guys being taken here. So like CeeDee Lamb and Pollard are guys that like either Warsh is going to be really happy or he's going to be really pissed because, instead of that, Mike Evans and Godwin or Fournette and whatever get through.
Well, Dallas winning by 17. Don't make no mistake.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the people your pick'ems for tomorrow? Not your underdog pick'ems, but your spread takes or money line takes or anything.
Yeah, I honestly, I think all 3 games. Oh no, Dallas is not the game tomorrow. What is it?
No, Dallas is Monday night. Actually, yeah, you're right.
I think Buffalo wins. I think Buffalo wins pretty easily. I think Cincinnati wins pretty easily, and then I think the Giants squeak one out.
So Isaiah McKenzie is an interesting one where he might not play, but I also don't really care. And the guy here has Josh Allen, so I want to just kind of snipe him. Because I'm not going to need Isaiah McKenzie tomorrow because I have Devontae Smith, or sorry, not tomorrow, a week from now. So McKenzie has another week to get early, get healthy. And if he's not, I have, these guys playing.
How many picks do you have?
I don't
What's
know
up,
what you love to
John
see.
Warner?
I don't know what you love to see, but we love to see you in the chat. So we got 4 picks left.
Ooh,
It's really
I know
hard
who
to
you're
not like
taking.
broadcast my
I thought you were going to take Kadarius Toney.
Oh, I don't know if I want to build for the Chiefs also, or if I want to like expand on this Buffalo and Cincinnati stuff because I only have like one Cincinnati. I'm really
I don't
tempted
know
to
if
just say fuck it and go Saquon. Give me Saquon.
interesting.
Oh, all right, Saquon it is. And then I could probably be done at running back because there's not really exciting running backs left. So that's one where like Saquon is 60% likely to get me 0 points the whole rest of this tournament.
You have won $10. Oh yeah, showdown, baby. Yeah, see, the thing that always trips me up on these is like you're gonna when you build this way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's 2 ways to build. You either build with 2 teams or 3 teams max, and you just like these are the 2 Super Bowl teams. If they get there, I just win.
Yeah.
And then the other way to build is like to put a full Super Bowl team on one side and then just have a bunch of assholes that get knocked off along the way on the other side. And that type of build is one that just doesn't naturally come to me.
So Warsh is doing what you Warsh is
Yeah,
building.
he's
like
got the winner.
5-5
Like
where
if it's Cincinnati Dallas, he just wins.
unless he needs T Higgins, where but yeah. I think that is a very, very sharp way to build. And TD just took Ken Gainwell for like no reason, just because like he's gonna get a rise out of me on this fucking show, and he's right. He has no Eagles. Like, what are you doing, dude?
We even said.
All right, I'm gonna go Hayden Hurst, get my second Bengal there. So yeah, like if I think if you can build like a 5-5 or something or a 5-3-2, I think that makes sense. But it's really hard to get good good players for all of that. So tempted to go some Samaje Perine here. I don't know if there's any more relevant bills. I mean, you got Cole Beasley, Eagles. I don't like Quez Watkins. Yeah, I'm gonna go Samaje Perine here. It's funny to see Samaje Perine going ahead of Austin Eckler. TD going Quez Watkins.
Yeah, Frankie. Marvin Jones. What is this kid doing?
I don't know if he's just cucking this guy who's building out the Jags. Also, what I was saying is like it's really hard to build like hi Frankie. It's really hard to get more than like 4 or even sometimes 3 good guys on one team. So I'm fine with getting 4 on my quarterback's team and then getting like 2-2-2 or 3-3 or 3-2 and like a random one like Saquon. I don't know if I'm going to go Richie James or if I just want 1 week from Saquon to advance because it's only 1 out of 6 advance. And then I've got, do I have 3 Eagles? And then I'm going to have 2 Bengals or 3 Bills. I think I feel pretty good about that strategically.
Amico's buying on Staley.
Feel bad for Brandon Staley. Guy looked every bit an elite coach in his first season.
That's actually true.
Yeah. Shout out Brandon Staley. He was like the heartthrob of fantasy football bros everywhere. And then he what happened? Like they went for it on 4th down a couple of times and then they got stuffed and then he just got PTSD and he could never go for it again. And he became a boomer, something like that.
They also have just completely abandoned the passing game red zone. Like, I don't know what it is. They took a few shots today, but
yeah, I think they're just like obsessed with Austin Eckler getting as many touchdowns as possible.
Yeah, but throw it to him. It was almost like he's saying Herbert once threw a pick six from the end zone, which I think he did against the Chiefs earlier this year or something. And it's like he locked him, he put him in jail ever since then or something.
Yeah. So now do I go? Thanks everyone for joining. I'll go Cole Beasley here just to give myself another random out for the Super Bowl. Well, all right. Cheers, everyone. I will. Let me refresh. I'll just like show you. I'll go through TD's draft grade. TD's gonna get a fucking 0 because he just wasted $25 to hear me say that. So I'll give you the satisfaction of getting.
I thought you were gonna do a bit on your best ball team screen where it's and then you post the Stephen A. This is mental illness.
Mental illness. Clayton, why? I don't know if this name sounds familiar, so I'll give an unbiased. Mahomes, McKinnon. I mean, it's fine. I don't understand like why Kirk Cousins when you have Mahomes.
Yeah, if Kirk Cousins who he needs.
I'm not sure if Clayton was aware that Mahomes doesn't have a bye in this contest. Besides that, it's a good team.
Maybe he just knows Kansas City is probably going to lose because I mean he's got Kirk with Dalvin, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, Mahomes is going to lose, so then that's why you take him 1 overall. TD, Josh Allen to Diggs, that's nice. James Cook, Shakir, very live with the San Fran bringbacks. Probably time down on Rachaad White because TD's never made every single pick. The Gainwell Quez Watkins, I think, was just there to annoy me, but I guess it's live. Structurally, it's fine. It's a fine team. Good team, TD. Like you've done much worse in your life than that team. Brock Purdy, CMC Debo is nice. And then Juwan Jennings. A lot of like randoms here.
He's got a fun Super Bowl team if it's San Francisco Buffalo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Gabe Davis and Knox. I like that. And Tony Pacheco. So you got 2 Super Bowl outcomes, and then Mike Evans, Marvin Jones. It's a good team too. It's a good team. I think this team is going to be in trouble. You're really in trouble if you don't have one of the top QBs because like Trevor Lawrence has to make the Super Bowl. It's like what's going to happen, and he has every Jacksonville Jaguar. It's like what's going to happen is Kelsey and AJ Brown both go off, and Trevor Lawrence has a good game next week, and this guy advances, and his team is dead because Trevor Lawrence is going to lose at some point. But so like this kind of team is the reason why like our advance rates are all going to be bad.
I have a question though, Easy.
Yeah.
What if Philly versus Jacksonville is what you need?
Well, I guess
he's ready for that.
Yeah, the Boston Scott.
Miles, Boston, AJ Brown, and the full. Yes.
Burrow with Dak. I think Morse took Dak here just because like he was really wanting to do that 5-5. Yeah, the Burrow Chase.
I like this.
This team is good. But this is like the risk that you take because like we're gonna come back on Tuesday morning and Warsh is gonna be in the chat talking about how well hopefully the Bengals make the Super Bowl because I need 5 Bengals to get into the optimal.
Tampa Bay stomped them.
Yeah. Or not even the Super Bowl. You're gonna need to use all 5 of your Bengals. There's a 40% chance that you're using 5 Bengals next week. But if that's not the case, you get 2 weeks out of Dallas, then you're looking really, really good. So this room is like fairly normal. So it's tough. So you gotta like I think if you have good rankings and like you understand like that Kansas City and Philly are much better in this contest than the other ones, and San Francisco joins them, and I guess Jacksonville now too. So keep that in mind as you're punting off, giving Rugman your $25. So thanks for joining. I've said that way too many times. I mean it. Good night. God bless.
Good night, everyone.
Good luck. Save some bullets for Monday. We got $1 million.
$1 million tomorrow.
Oh yeah, $1 million tomorrow. All right, later.